Daja Hao, my name is Garrick, and welcome back to Taiwan Lao Wai. And in case you can't tell by my short sleeves, it is finally starting to warm up a little bit from the doldrums of winter. It's definitely not summer weather yet, but I think we are out of this cold snap and back into tropical heat in a matter of months. Which means I think that makes this a good time to continue our Mission Michelin. That's right, our quest to eat at every Michelin-recommended restaurant in Taipei is still ongoing, and I am very excited for what we have planned tonight. You see, tonight we are visiting something of a rarity for Michelin, a restaurant with a Michelin recommendation that is actually a chain restaurant. That's right, we are visiting the original location of Din Tai Fung. Starting back in 1972, Din Tai Fung has grown to be one of the most popular chain restaurants for soup dumplings, Chinese food, Taiwanese food, at least in this general part of the world. Now, the original 1972 location is on Xinyi Road, smack dab in the middle of Taipei, but that location has since turned takeout only, so you cannot have a sit-down meal there. Luckily, if you do want a sit-down Din Tai Fung dinner, all you have to do is walk across the street and there's another location right there. It's a nice little bit of brand synergy. They keep the original location open for the historical context and the cultural legacy, but they still have a sit-down dinner for the people who would like to enjoy their dim sum in a more relaxed setting. Now, cards on the table, I have actually eaten at a Din Tai Fung location before. I visited one of their branches pretty much right after I came to Taiwan for the first time, but that was years ago. My memories were not very strong, and I was in work training at the time, so that took up most of my mental focus. So we're gonna consider this a fresh start. We are going to visit, we are gonna get all the classics, we're gonna get some soup dumplings, we're gonna get a whole lot of dim sum. I brought a very empty stomach, which is good because I think I'm going to need it for all this delicious looking food. Now, conveniently, the original Din Tai Fung location is pretty much directly on the red line of Taipei's subways, so it's very easy to just hop on the trains and get your way over there. But I popped off the train a few minutes away because I wanted to get these nice walking shots. Because I care about you. And also I need my exercise, as always. So I'm gonna jump on the nearest bike I see, and I will catch you all at Din Tai Fung. Man, I think I chose the most scenic route possible to get us there. Go me. Also, yes, my hair is absolutely ridiculous at this point, I know. Next time you see me, I will probably have shorn my shelf like a sheep. I should probably shorn my shelf like a sheep. I will probably have gotten my haircut by the next time you see me, is what I was trying to say there. I don't know, it does a decent job keeping out the worst of the winter chills, but in the summer, definitely the opposite is true. Definitely it could use to be a little shorter. Whatever, those are future plans. Future plans don't matter right now. Dim sum matters right now. Let's get going! See, this is the problem with doing episodes like this. I always come into the city with a restaurant in mind, and then on my way there I pass like 15, 20 other restaurants that I also want to try someday. I tell ya, the life of a foodie is never-ending work. For the record, it's just about 4:20 right now, which is why the streets are so bustling. It's a Sunday afternoon. Everybody's done with work. Everybody wants to get a last bit of fun in before the next work week starts. Hopefully there will still be room at Din Tai Fung when I get there. I hope it's not booked up for the night. God, stomach, stay focused. We're almost there. Oh ho ho. All right, folks, we are standing in front of the original Din Tai Fung location right now. This is technically called Din Tai Fung Xinyi because it's on the Xinyi Street. And as you can probably see from the size of that restaurant, there is no sit down in there. It's just pickup. God, look at this menu, though. We are gonna be feasting tonight. But we're not going to be feasting in there because we'd like to sit down with our dinner. Now, we are hopping just across the street over there. I think that big sort of pale grayish white building is where we're heading. Also, hello Taipei 101 in the distance. How are you? Okay, I was close. I was looking at the wrong grayish-white building. I actually want to be at that grayish-white building over there. Alright, so this is the Din Tai Fung Xinsheng branch. This is where you want to go if you want a sit-down dinner. The original Xinyi branch is just for pickup. And oh boy, there's already quite a line. We're gonna be waiting a while. Okay, so we got a problem. I expected a long wait when we came here. I figured it was gonna be quite some time before a seat opened up because it's a very popular place. What I did not expect was that I would be waiting 80 to 100 minutes. It was like close to 2 freaking hours before there's room. I very much underestimated what this restaurant was capable of. Good God. Well, we're in too deep at this point. We're staying until this is done. I guess that means we've got some time to do something else while we wait, question mark? Whew, I don't know at this point. We're gonna figure something out. I will see you when we have figured something out. I am remembering why I loved this place so much last time. Now, this restaurant is really big. It's got like 3 or 4 different floors, and it still took me that long to get in. We're in a pretty cozy corner of the restaurant, so I can't be too loud. I gotta keep my voice down right to annoy everybody. Speaking of, food's here already. So these are the spicy pickled cucumbers, always a must-have. And this is the Din Tai Fung special called Appetizer, which is like a few different kinds of seaweed and bean sprouts tossed together. You will be shocked, I'm sure, to know that we have ordered far too much food, but we will make do. It's very nice. It's very bright, it's refreshing, there's just a bit of brininess from the sea. It's a very good way to start this meal. It feels like it's waking my taste buds up. I don't always like seaweed, it's a bit touch and go for me, but prepared this way, it's very nice. It's the good kind of gelatinous, not the bad kind of gelatinous. Of course, what I'm really excited for is these cucumbers. Let's give them a shot. I'm in love with those. They're still super crunchy, they've got a lot of pop to them. The spice is not overwhelming, it's just like a little touch of chili oil. Vinegar is strong, salt is strong, flavors are bursting in my mouth but not overwhelming me. Again, super great way to start a meal. These guys do their appetizers very well. That's a good sign. So getting a bit deeper into this special appetizer, it looks like it's a mix of seaweed and glass noodles and bean sprouts and a few little shreds of tofu as well. It's also got a very mild, I want to say Szechuan sort of spice where it sort of tingles your lips and mouth without blowing your roof off. I can see why they put their name on this dish specifically. It's different and memorable in a way that I was not used to, but it's very unique. I will not forget this anytime soon. Oh ho ho ho, here we go. Alright, these are our xiaolongbao, our soup dumplings, the main attraction at Din Tai Fung. You can get sets of 5 or 10, considering how much other food I'm getting. I stuck with 5, probably for the best. This particular variety is crab roe and pork, because that's a bit of a classic to me. That's the one body shot right there. Fan-freaking-tastic. Absolutely fantastic. Super unctuous, super meaty, super succulent. There's a bit of a punch from that crab roe in there as well. And there's a particular sauce that goes with them. According to the instructions they so carefully handed me, you want to mix 1 part soy sauce to 3 parts vinegar in this little dish of ginger they give you. Then you poke the side of the dumpling with a chopstick to let the broth all spill out into the spoon, and then you just slurp it all up. It's a lot of steps, but with food this good, we listen to the masters. Oh, that sauce wakes it right up. There's like a super extra tangy sort of zesty punch in there, and it really offsets the richness. That's awesome. Xiaolongbao are Din Tai Fung's specialty, and I can definitely see why. These are exceptional. These are so good. And the hits don't stop coming. These are classic Taiwanese pork spare ribs. In the Taiwanese style, the ribs are not kept whole. They're chopped up into little bites like this, with a nub of bone still in the middle. Whoop. They're also tossed in a sweet and sour sauce, so I imagine that's going to be delicious. Keep in mind, you cannot eat these whole. You have to gnaw your way around to the bone as you eat. Oh yeah, stuff. Not the most tender spare ribs I've ever eaten, but they make up for that with this super rich, porky, fatty flavor. And on top of that, that sauce, that super sweet, sort of hoisin-y glaze. Oh my god. This is the best Chinese takeout ever. And I mean that kind of sort of reddish barbecue pork you get with Chinese takeout. This is what that is aspiring to be. This is like the best possible version of that. Worth noting that these are only served cold, not hot. So if you're super averse to cold pork, maybe not the best, but trust me when I say these are worth it. Oh my god, it's all coming out so fast. My gosh. Okay, so before I get overwhelmed, let's start over here. This is a shrimp pancake. It's like a crispy batter made of shrimp. If you're familiar with shrimp toast, I imagine it's the same sort of deal. My dad always loved shrimp toast, so this one goes out to him. You betcha. Super, super clean shrimp flavor, and a whole bunch of like herby, spicy accompaniments from the rest of the batter. Funnily enough, I think dumping it in the dumpling sauce is also really good because it gives it a little vinegary punch as well. Very nice, very solid. Highly recommended. Alright, now this is probably the closest thing to a main course we're going to eat tonight. This is noodles with a spicy sesame and peanut sauce. I like how you're supposed to mix it all together yourself. It's a very nice way to keep the noodles nice and fresh until it's time for you to dig into them. This is just such an overload of fantastic food. Oh boy. Also, the tables next to me cleared out so I can speak a little more freely now. Cheers to that. Interesting. It's in a few flavor profiles I was not prepared for. This, funnily enough, is the spiciest thing I have eaten tonight. And it's that kind of super intense, almost bitter back-of-your-throat spice that comes with chili oil. I think I'm used to American peanut butter, which tends very sweet, but this is much more in the sour and bitter flavor profiles. It's a very intense bowl of noodles. I definitely don't hate it, but it's something I'm gonna have to take my time with. You know what? I wonder if mixing a little soy sauce in here might wake it up a bit. Call me a Philistine. I do miss my bit more sweet, salty, punchy American flavors from time to time. Okay, yeah, just that's spicy. Just a bit of soy sauce really helps. The noodles are fine on their own, but I think with just that little extra kick of flavor from the soy sauce, it wakes everything up and it gives everything just a little more body. I ordered so much food. And we're not even done. Okay, this is actually our last hurrah before dessert. We got some classic pork buns. They actually offered to only make me one since I'm just a single diner, but I said, nope, I'm hungry. I want both. We will see if that idea proves smart or stupid, but for now, let's give it a taste. I actually didn't get any of the pork with that bite. Let me try again. So satisfying. The bun dough itself is super tender, the pork is super juicy and moist. Could use maybe just a touch more salt, but that's what the soy sauce is for, so I will not complain. Really, any criticism I can make is full-on nitpicking at this point. This meal has been so freaking good. Right, now I've got a whole mountain of food to polish off before dessert gets here. Wish me luck. And dessert is here. This is a Chinese-style 9-layer cake, as it was described on the menu. Not quite sure what these are layers of, but I'm sure we'll find out once we dig into it. Ooh, that's sticky. This might just be 9 layers of dough. So it's one way to find out. Okay, there's a little something in there. Some sort of like very mild fruit jelly of some sort, I want to say. But yeah, for the most part, that is just sort of 9 layers of steamed bun dough stacked on top of each other. I don't really vibe with it, to be honest. I feel like there are better desserts you could have here. Like, there's almost nothing in here, I'm not even kidding. It's just dough. Looks like a tiny little smattering of fruit something or other speckled in there, and the rest of it is like 99% dough. Very strange dessert. Very strange way to end this meal. But hey, if nothing else, the rest of it was fantastic. I cannot believe I almost managed to eat all that food. How much room is in my stomach these days?
5 minutes later.
Oh my god, I'm so full! Alright, so that took us about an hour to get in and out once we actually, got in. And to my surprise, it was not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. Like, I got something like 7 or 8 separate dishes in there, and yet the total cost was only 1,457 NTD. That's not even $50 US. And keep in mind, I gorged myself. You could probably eat the same amount of food I ate between 2 people and be perfectly satisfied. My god, though, what a feast. I can see why it took me an hour to get in. It absolutely deserves the reputation it's got. That was fantastic. Highlights of the meal, definitely the sweet and sour pork ribs. Those were absolutely delicious. I actually discovered a little later that mixed in with the ribs, there was some sort of dried, super sweet, sticky plums in there. Like dried out, rehydrated plums to give it some of that sweet and sour stickiness. I'm not joking when I say that's one of the most delicious pieces of pork I've ever put in my mouth. Aside from that, the soup dumplings were obviously peak as well. They've got a whole bunch of different varieties, including vegetarian options. From what I gathered, this menu is pretty friendly for vegetarian eaters, so do not consider that a barrier if you want to eat here. And of course, the cold cucumbers were exceptional as well. So if you come here and only get 3 things, make it those 3 things. Xiaolong bao, sweet and sour pork ribs, spicy cold cucumbers. In terms of negatives, the only dish that I didn't really vibe with was that cake at the end, but there are a whole bunch of desserts that I did not try. I'm sure at least a few of them are going to be tasty. I should also mention that the service was fantastic. The servers were very attentive. My server spoke very, very good English. This is an international chain, so they probably hire people who are a bit experienced speaking different languages so they can communicate with tourists of different cultures. Overall, that was an incredible meal. I am absolutely going back there at some point. I don't know exactly where all the branches of Din Tai Fung are. They're sort of scattered all throughout Taipei, probably a few in other cities as well. So do your research, find out where the most convenient location is for you, give it a try. You will not forget it. You will not forget it. You will not regret it, is what I meant to say. Ooh, I'm getting tired. Clearly I need to put this phone down and schlep my way back home. Thank you all once again for joining me at Taiwan Laowai. I hope these Mission Michelins continue to be as mouth-watering for you as they are for me. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll see you next time. 再见. Bye-bye.